Okay, so a pretty big signing here, I would say, and they're giving him a lot of money. Carlton Davis signs with the New England Patriots. So I believe I predicted this when we did our on the podcast. We previewed where some of the top free agents would go, and yeah, I picked Carlton Davis to the Patriots. So credit to me, got that one right. But it kind of makes some sense. I mean, Carlton Davis is, well, first let's talk about the Patriots. The Patriots, quite frankly, needed help in a lot of different places, and I think with getting Carlton Davis, this secondary kind of looks actually like pretty good, which for the Patriots, basically nothing was good last year, but getting Carlton Davis, having Christian Gonzalez and Marcus Jones there, like, that could work as a secondary, and they have some safeties as well. All of a sudden, you might have a pretty solid secondary, and if you have a solid secondary, you can scheme things up to get pressure if you have to, and all of a sudden, this looks like it could be something to work. Carlton Davis, they're giving him a lot of money. They're giving him 3 years, $60 million total, so that's $20 million a year. Corners typically do not make that much. Like Jalen Johnson isn't making that much, right? That's a big deal for corners. Now, only about half of it is guaranteed, $34.5 million. But again, this is where sometimes I get frustrated with when people talk about guarantees, because you don't sign a deal typically to not pay the player every year of that deal. Usually when you sign a deal, you want them to finish the deal, so you want to pay a player every dollar that they could potentially get, because if you don't, that means you're getting rid of them and probably taking on some dead money. That being said, only $34 million guaranteed. What this kind of means is that it's probably essentially the last year is almost fully just a team option where they can get out of it. There'll probably be very little guarantees on the last deal. So in that sense, this actually does help out a lot. So while not low guarantees doesn't always help you, what it does is it gives you a ripcord to pull, essentially. Carlton Davis, one of those players that feels like he's been in the league for forever, but is actually just 28 years old. He entered pretty young because he's played 7 years, but he has been, at times, an incredibly effective player for Tampa Bay. His, I would say, career best year was in 2020 when he was a star player who was the number one corner of a Super Bowl winning team. Okay, that's a pretty big help. That is also the only year he has had over 1,000 snaps. Now, when you have playoffs, it's easier to get more snaps, but in general, he has only really stayed fully healthy for one season, and that was in 2020. Every year he's kind of gotten banged up at times. Now, he's also never had injuries that have completely derailed his season. In fact, last year was a career low in snaps, but it was still 697. So he's still good for 700 snaps, usually good for 800 or 900 snaps, kind of usually right around the 850 range is where he's been at for most of his career. Usually he's missing some time, but not having the major injuries, and is still a very good player, a guy who you can trust to cover somebody one-on-one, which is, there's not easy to get those types of players, but now the Patriots have it. Again, I think there is going to be a question that people will have with this contract, which is for New England, is it a smart move to go so hard on defense, right? This is a big deal. Well, you only have so much. I mean, you have a ton of cap space. There's only so many free agents available. Like Chris Godwin signed with Tampa Bay and took a hometown discount to do that. So, there's only so many things you can do. I think that's kind of the issue. And at the end of the day, yes, you want to help out your young quarterback. Well, a way to help out your young quarterback can be to help out your defense, right? If Drake May doesn't feel like he has to be great every drive because he can trust his defense, that can teach him some right lessons as well. So I think that's another thing that you look at. So as a whole, I mean, is it the... It's a move I like. It's a move I'll defend. I think this is a smart decision by the New England Patriots to go out and get, again, you have this money, why not get a good player? Yes, it's a little bit high for a corner, but I've always felt like corners should get more than they get. So I think that corners are undervalued. So as a whole, I mean, you're adding him, you're adding Harold Landry, getting a couple pieces like that. I still think their front seven needs a little bit more work if it's going to be a great defense, but it should at least be a better one. So yeah, those are kind of my thoughts on all of this. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.